Viewers, I open tonight on a solemn note. And I open by asking some questions. And I open by inviting you to join a movement. Viewers, India's GDP growth is set to be the envy of the world. It gives bragging rights to politicians across party lines. The centre cites the GDP figures to certify its performance. The states credit or claim credit for boosting the numbers by their own contributions. They all celebrate the headline figure, but they forget something fundamental. It is our labor that powers those numbers. Our long hours spent working, our daily commute, our sweat. We do our duty, not just by ourselves, but by our nation. But tonight I want to ask, what are these GDP numbers worth if they cannot guarantee something as basic as a safe road back home? What use is growth to a young man in his prime who is found dead at the bottom of a pit of negligence, dug by a state authority, left opened, unmarked, unsecured, because somewhere in the chain of command, apathy, viewers, outweighs the value that they think they have for our lives. That brutal truth is dawning on us as we wake up to the pain of parents in Delhi who search for their son for 12 desperate hours, from police station to police station, only to find him at the bottom of an unattended pit dug by the Delhi Jal Board, viewers. And the pictures to the top left of your screens are of Kamal. Who was found, viewers, 12 hours after at the bottom of a pit in the capital of this country, Delhi. What use, viewers, is this GDP to the child who fell into an exposed drain in Bengaluru, or the young tech professional in Noida whose car plunged into a roadside cavity left uncovered by a negligent municipal authority? So I want to ask, why is this nationwide civic collapse, one that is quietly claiming lives, not being treated as a national emergency? Why is Parliament, and that's why I'm showing you those pictures to the right of your screens, not debating the everyday dangers that stalk ordinary Indians? Isn't it shameful that those elected to make our lives safer are busy securing their own political futures by trading insults on a daily basis to upstage in a futile exercise, viewers, of political one-upmanship? You saw those pictures. This whole week has been wasted in Parliament, viewers, by politicians taking idiotic jibes at each other. Idiotic. How do they sleep peacefully, knowing that families are being destroyed not by fate, not by war, viewers, but by preventable negligence? In a nation that aspires to be a Vishwa Guru, should hard-working citizens be dying because the state cannot cover a pit? Kamal's story, the one that has once again brought focus back to the issue of state-sponsored killer negligence, is heartbreaking. This young man worked in Rohini and was returning home. Let's put those continue buttons on that graphic, viewers, because I'm telling you the story generated by AI visuals tonight. This young man worked in Rohini and was returning home from his office when he met with the fatal accident. According to family members, Kamal left his workplace in Rohini on Thursday evening but never reached home. His phone was switched off and repeated attempts to reach him were unsuccessful. Growing increasingly worried, his family began searching for him across the city. They searched hospitals, police stations, and along possible travel routes. But there was no trace of him throughout the night. On Friday morning, Kamal's body was found there in an open drain near Janakpuri. The spot reportedly had no warning signage or barriers. We are being told it had barriers. When we went there, viewers, they were rudimentary. Things that could be moved aside with the slightest nudge. The system is the culprit, viewers. And we've named and shamed those who need to answer. Kaushal Raj Sharma. Remember these names? CEO of the Delhi Jal Board. Sanjeev Mittal, Chief Vigilance Officer of the Delhi Jal Board. Viewers, Kamal's story is every Indian's story. We're not falling into pits. We are betrayed by the system in several cruel ways. Viewers, those cruel ways are on your screens. We are molested by lawlessness. Viewers, we are electrocuted by negligence in this country. In this great country where the GDP is soaring, halted by sinkholes for hours on expressways, abandoned by the system, so we have to carry, viewers, those that are ill in bags and sacks. And we are abandoned by a system that leaves us at the mercy of rats when we are ill, viewers, when we need help, and when we are enrolled in government hospitals. Look at those pictures, viewers. The time has come to hold the system to account. First, make sure you don't stay silent. Let's expose the rot, viewers. And we have put out a tagline, and see that tagline. Director Saab fired that graphic which says expose the rot. Join our campaign to shame officials who aren't doing their jobs by sending us examples of their negligence. I want to see that now on the screen, where we are asking you, viewers, to come forth, demand explanations, send up WhatsApps, demand timelines, take pictures. Then let's campaign for accountability. Let's campaign to ensure our murderers don't get away because we were too overwhelmed to rise and fight for justice. Remember, silence protects indifference, and indifference kills. Let's put it there, because I want our viewers to call in, want them to participate in this campaign. I want our viewers to expose this rot. Don't keep silent tonight. And I want to ask some basic questions. I want to ask those questions of some stakeholders and of citizens like you and me. Dr. Ranganathan, I want to begin with you first. Nyoma Gupta, spokesperson of the BJP, of the Delhi BJP, is also here with us. And I want to ask you, Dr. Ranganathan, tonight, what do you make of this? I am appalled. What is this GDP worth? What are these parliamentarians doing? Where are they?
They are in a safe haven. They are protected from these catastrophes and calamities, and that is what they always wanted, Rahul. I have never seen such a terrible accident that has happened because of a manhole without a lid or a pothole in Lutyens, Delhi. That is where all these politicians live, and that's a fact. We have to accept it. First of all, thank you for this campaign from the bottom of my heart, but I have to say this. I'm sorry if I'm being cynical tonight. Yes, we can expose the rot, but we've seen this. We have been exposing the rot for the last 50, 60 years. The question is, how can we stop the rot? And that is the question. Who will stop the rot? These politicians won't stop the rot. And we know the judiciary also is least interested. We've seen the most horrendous accident that happened a month ago when a kid was crying out for help and slowly sinking in a water body that was completely artificially made because of the the issues that cropped up with a builder. He refused to fill that up. So these are accidents that happen, and yes, somebody was suspended, and then the other person who will take that person's place would do the same thing. I think the time has come for us to absolutely take out all political parties and their interventions from municipalities, from these councils. You just saw in Mumbai, when they had the municipal election, it was like a state election because they know 70,000 crores is in the offing. So that is how, that is how they act. We have to privatize this. Not just that. I think the time has come for a mandate whereby 10% or whatever fixed amount of any income tax that any citizen pays should go to that citizen's locality for the improvement of that locality, so that people have a stake. At least people can say, now what people say is we pay so much of tax. I mean, you look at some really concerned citizen, Anuradha, you had the skin doctor. They're saying, why are we paying tax? The same question you were asking. And the cleanest city, Indore, you had these, recently poisoning of water. contamination of water. People died. What happened?
Can you-
So unless people have a stake,
Yeah.
their money that they are giving to the government should at least 5 to 10%, 15%, whatever should be decided, should go to the locality where they stay. This would encourage competition. People would want more richer and richer people to come to the locality. They would improve. Just like I say, leave it to the markets.
Well, viewers, privatization, at the end of the day, the point is accountability is lacking. And today, one of the spokesperson of the BJP, the Delhi BJP, will give me a sob story, will not even have the decency to come out and say, I'm sorry, let me visit that spot. They'll give us some roundabout answer about this department and that department, and we've suspended 3 people and this, that, the other, viewers. That's what they'll tell you. But you need to ask them, why isn't this story being discussed? And I'm not talking about one government here, viewers. This is happening in Bangalore. This is happening in Mumbai. It is happening in Chennai. It's happening in Calcutta. It's happening everywhere, viewers. This is India's story. None of these parliamentarians bring it up. What are they bringing up? Some guy is calling somebody a gaddar. 60-year-old people are talking like children. This is what is going on. Numa Gupta, let's make it worth everyone's while. And can you tell me if someone from your government is going to resign? And I am getting responses on WhatsApp from people like Suresh. They are coming out and exposing you politicians who are blind to what is the most obvious. They're taking photographs and sending you a live picture of your inadequacies, Ms. Numa Gupta.
First of all,
This is
I can't even-
shameful.
May I?
Instead of you warning us that there is going to be an open road that probably can swallow you, we have to tell you, hello, there is an open road. Could you do something about it, Ms. Gupta? How does that feel?
First of all, I can't even imagine the shock and pain going through his family and his loved ones, and my serious condolences for him. And it's a fact, no political positioning can help reduce the pain or the grieving family. The next step we do is address this tragedy with seriousness and the urgency it deserves. In fact, I'd like to make a very important point. Recently, after the tragic incident we saw in Noida a couple of weeks back, an instructional order was issued to the DJP, ordering that all DJP construction sites should be barricaded with all safety norms followed, including usage of signboards and reflector tapes. The order further, in fact, said that the compliance reports with photo evidence must be filed, and any violations would result in the JE or EE being held responsible, with no possibility.
Okay, so just a minute.
Sir,
Just a minute.
sorry.
No, 1 second. This was how many weeks back?
Just few weeks back. Sir.
Okay, clearly, viewers, the bureaucracy doesn't take their leadership seriously. It's quite clear. There's no fear of God. The fear of God is in the ordinary citizen, who will be hounded by various state authorities if you refuse to pay a tax. But there is no fear of God in the bureaucracy. Because you know why, viewers? They know they will be just suspended and then transferred. There is one who was brought back from Ladakh.
Yes.
One brought back from Ladakh after he booked a stadium in this country to walk his dog, viewers, in the morning and get rid of all the athletes. He was just sent out, shunted, go, the heat is on you, just go cool off in Ladakh. And after about 2 years, he's brought back and he's sitting there.
Please?
Listen, Ms. Gupta, I know great work that you must have done by sending these orders, but what use are they if they are not being implemented? And what use is it? What use is it if you do not make those who are not implementing these orders accountable? So please tell me, why isn't the DJB chief sacked?
Okay, so
post haste?
may I please be allowed to speak, sir? even though, according to the DGP's own statement, the preliminary findings indicated that the road where the work was happening has been closed due to barricades and green mesh and all that. Despite that, there's been an investigation which has been put. CCTV footage has been going to be examined. Witnesses are going to be examined, and the sequence of events are going to be ascertained.
Okay.
This will give us a better understanding.
Okay,
As
okay.
of
We
now,
are
sir,
waiting
please.
for an understanding. Excuse me. Let's just leave
Yes.
it at this. Leave it at this.
No,
leave it
that's
at this.
not fair.
Just
Let
wait.
me
No,
please.
there's nothing to be
No,
fair
that's not
about.
fair. I
Tell
want
that
you
to
to-
the parents who lost their
Yes.
child that
With
it is
all
not
due
fair.
respect, sir,
Please,
we are
ma'am.
going to deal with this
Please, I
situation
don't
with
want to hear
diligence and
these
compassion.
platitudinous,
No, I'm
pre-prepped
sorry.
questions
No,
for prime
no.
time TV. I just
No,
want you to
no,
focus
sorry, this is
on the
not
crisis.
After a
your
death
plan.
occurred.
Hang on. Please stop
Why did you
browbeating
bring
me.
the rules after the death occurred?
Exactly. Why after?
Where were those rules before?
Where were those rules
The
before?
rules were
It's
done
a
before,
reactive.
sir,
It is
and
reactive. It is reactive. It is reactive to the news cycle. Viewers, this story, I will tell you, in 2 days will be gone. We are also at fault.
Sorry, that's what you assume.
We are also at fault. The media is also at fault. At least I have the decency to accept that. But these people also wait for that, viewers, for the story to fall off the map so we can bring back those shunted officials. I ask a very simple question. I have identified those two officers. Let's bring them back on the screen. One is the head of the DJB. Viewers, have you heard a statement from that individual? Has he said, I am tendering my resignation. I take moral responsibility. That's the gentleman. Chief Vigilance Officer, Mr. Mittal, and Kaushal Raj Sharma, CEO of Delhi Jal Board. That's it, viewers. We haven't heard a squeak from them. In today's day and age, where you have tweets, where you have Facebook, where you have everything, where you can put a camera onto your face and upload whatever, not even an apology. He's hiding behind his chair, his post. And that's the heartbreaking aspect of it. While we fall into negligence, molested by lawlessness, our wives, mothers, sisters can't walk home at night because they will be pulled into an alley by a state that is sleeping, by criminals on the street that are allowed to walk. A road opens up in 8-10 hours, you are stuck on a highway, viewers. Children, the aged, the sick, stuck for hours altogether. Substandard, sub-quality work, and everyone just gets away. And I'm not talking about this, not making this about the BJP, I'm just making it about this political class. I leave it at this, viewers, because there is very little to say beyond getting into recriminations. There are also other stories that I want to focus on because they're also equally worrying.